Greetings, fellow gamers. Gid here, signing in for that much anticipated, long awaited Friendship Disc cleanup episode. Okay, maybe there's not that much hype around it. Either way, thanks for checking in. So, as you can see, I have 60 friends stamina. I have 16 in the bank currently, possibly access to a bit more. And essentially what I'm doing this evening is look at my map. Oh, so many. I have so many of these friendship discs at episode 8, and this is gonna be me trying to auto through as many of them as possible. Pretty much the old ones, like I mentioned before, or the ones that I didn't get cleaned up. As you know, when I was making the more detailed walkthroughs, it would take a bit more time. Obviously, there wasn't a huge rush to get every single one of them out. And now they're just kind of taking up space, and they're all quite a bit easier. So I'm going to simply see if I can auto through as many as possible. It may take one episode. It may take 2 episodes. I may run out of friendship stamina. However, we're going to get this started. All right. Let's begin starting with these two. Nick, Jack Sparrow, Jackjack, and Mike. Oh, sorry, wait a minute. Level 62, 4-star, P2 Creeps, Genie, Sully, Dash, and Ralph. 10 friendship stamina per episode, or per stage in the episode. All right, here we go. The Nick disc for Jack is extremely decent in my estimation. Perhaps the better of the two, although I do like his tanky Barbossa disc, that pirate music or whatever it was called. And that one was infinitely more difficult to unlock to the point that it became a joke with the 1.4 changes. This disc, though, is the one that I see used mostly with players that are using Jack. Generally in Coliseum teams, not so much Arena. The extra basic damage boost from Pirate's Code to the team is awesome, and his the rank up, the star rank abilities is what increased armor negation and increased attack speed, which I think caps out at 5%, which doesn't sound like a lot, but if you combine that with other heroes that focus on attack speed boosts or have their own attack speed boosts, that's ends up being fairly significant, I think. So definitely a worthwhile disc. Mike's Jackjack disc is quite fantastic. Ha! No pun intended. It's essentially like the disc that I have for Jackjack from Violet, where its basic attack damage becomes fantastic damage and increased attack speed. So very simplistic, but when you combine it in a team of scarers, or even Mike himself who can scare, it just adds that additional crit rate as long as he gets a few attacks off after throwing the old canister. Good disc, wait a long time for it. Originally, the plan was when the 1.3A 80 to 85 team levels dropped, what I was doing was I was upping my team level, but I was keeping my actual team at level 80, and I was going to finish all these old friendship discs then until they became obsolete in the sense that it didn't matter if there's 80 or not, and then I had to get back to the PvP race. So that's a bit of what was going on at that time. Fantastic disc. The Judy disc for Jessie was one of the more difficult discs to do back when we were in the level tier, and it took maybe even getting to 80 or close to for people to actually get this one unlocked, as it was quite challenging. This was one of the discs I believe has been lowered in accessibility for the team level. It's an excellent disc for Jessie. Your best bet is if you really like it, you're going to go for it. I would suggest 5-starring it. At that point, with Jessie's skill, I forget what's called, which one, kicking up a row, hoot nanny something. The one that gives you the dodge percent, this combines with that, and she ends up getting a total dodge percent of 50% of all attacks. So, on paper, half the time, nothing will hit her, which is crazy. A very good disc if you're going to go all the way with it. All right, I know how I'm going to divvy this up. All the friendships that I have, what the heck? All the friendships that I have left for the level 70 to 75 tier, I'm going to complete those right now. And then all the ones from the level 75 to 80 tier, I will complete in the next episode. Genius. Yes, the mic disc for Rex. Very cool. It's a pirate ship image, so you can't go wrong there. I don't see this disc used a ton with Rex. It's interesting in the sense that what does it do? It increases his survivability based on the number of damage dealers, so he gets more hit points and takes less damage, which is cool and all, except it just, it really just focuses on Rex's survivability, which is good in the sense that if he stays alive long enough, he just gets to use more of his abilities, which are actually pretty potent. If you've all been watching from before, you know that Rex was never one of my favorites, and he's still one of my more favorites now. I still use him a fair bit in fights, and his shield eating and the woody disc, great. The mic disc, not used as much from what I've seen. I play around with it. Maybe there's this great team that's all damage and Rex, and he just doesn't go down and silences endlessly. I'd have to check it out personally. Other than the disc comments, though, I very much enjoy their friendship storyline with them running around the docks and getting lost and knocking over shipping containers. Oddly enough, I believe it parallels with one of the other friendships where they're looking for Rex. I think it's a Buzz, maybe it's the Buzz Cora one. And at one point, they are actually both at the same part of the map when I forget what the episode lineup is. So I think it's kind of cool. I'm assuming that was planned. I didn't realize there was that kind of intricacy into the friendship campaign layout, but maybe that was just a happy accident. But it was still fun to notice nonetheless. Last but not least for this friendship disc tier is the Wally Dash disc. This had a fun little story where Dash was trying to get Wally ready for his big date with Eve. Of course, creeps get involved. Very difficult to use pairing, especially when Dash was still old Dash before he got buffed. His survivability has gone up quite a bit since the changes, which is good because he was beyond glass cannon. I don't even know what kind of cannon you'd call him, but you would be lucky if you even got one use of his active ability. He would be too busy getting KO'd to his jumping and blocking projectile ability, plus taking regular hits as he normally stands near the front. Always had good armor, just never could hold it together, but now he does a lot better. And the Wally disc itself is the one that I think most players prefer. Increases the disable lengths of your allies, which is excellent. I'm still pretty married to my Flynn disc for Wally. That energy efficiency, it's going to be hard to convince me otherwise. But now that I'm going to be having both discs here, I will try this one out and see if I can be converted. I'm not going to count on it though. This was one of the original super difficult discs unlocked at 75. I believe the final level creeps for this one were level 100, if I'm not mistaken. So very awesome. Pretty much impossible to unlock at level. And yeah, now it's been reduced to something a lot easier. Plus I'm level 85 with a bunch of P4s. So we're just breezing on through, but definitely worth your collection. Great disc. And that will do it for this episode. Fellow gamers, please like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. If you're currently working through these friendship discs and you're not an overpowered mess like myself, leave me a comment down below if you still find these missions challenging or if you're breezing right through them. Thanks so much for watching, and keep on gaming.